a story I need to tell about the world and how it's well. From police brutality to climate change, we gotta talk, no fat for shame. Relationships can be so tough, but we need to talk not just enough about trust, love, and where it stands in our hearts. Let's break that chain. Let's talk about it, let's not hide. The truth is what makes us thrive. From politics to private fears, we need to hear each other's ears. Sometimes it feels like we're alone, but together we can make a zone where every voice is heard and seen. Let's make a change. It's time to begin. Workplace issues, gender gaps, equality. Let's not stop fast about pay, respect, and power. Let's stand up for what's true. Mental health, it's time to shine. No more stigma, we'll make it fun. Talk about anxiety, depression. Let's heal and find a better solution. Streets to the boardroom, our voices matter, we're not alone. Let's lift each other up, let's start now. Together we can make it grow. Let's talk about it, let's not hide. The truth is what makes us thrive. Don't politics to private fears, we need to hear each other here. Let's talk about it, let's not hide. The truth is what makes us thrive. Don't politics to private fears, we need to hear each other here.
Have you ever experienced tenderness or soreness in your scalp and not quite know what caused it? It could be a sign of alopecia. Alopecia is a condition that causes hair loss when the scalp or the hair follicles become inflamed and weakened. There are different types of alopecia, but generally they all lead to thinning edges, bald patches, or overall shedding. If you think you have alopecia, the first thing you should do is contact your doctor or your dermatologist for treatment options. But the second thing you need to do is use hair products that actually take care of the scalp, such as Refresh and Grow by Love It Skin and Hair. As a 25-year cosmetologist, I formulated this lightweight leave-in mist with vitamin B3, B5, green tea extract, and other ingredients that actually soothe irritation. They refresh the scalp and promote a healthy scalp environment so that you can grow your hair thicker and longer. Take the first step in your scalp health. Check out loveitskinandhair.com.
Big time fan, ready to level up your energy? Let's talk W Energy Drinks, the brand that's all about being better. Born from one guy's issue with the major big energy drinks, low quality ingredients, and weak flavors, W's taking on big energy with clean, high quality drinks that taste unreal. W's got no sugars, no artificial flavors, no dyes, and 0 calories. It's jitter-free, crash-free, and packed with over 15 unique custom-made flavors that thousands of people are loving every single month. From humble beginnings to taking on the giants, W's all about giving you clean, high-quality energy that tastes incredible. So whether you're grinding at work, hitting the gym, or just need a boost to your day, grab energy drink from W. Be better, feel better. Let's get it. And as a special offer to our big time listeners, W is offering you 10% off your order when you use the code BIGTIME during your checkout. That's Big Time, BIGTYME, to get your 10% off at W.GG.
Have you ever
Got a story I need to tell about the world and how it's well. From police brutality to climate change. We gotta talk, no fat for shame. Relationships can be so tough, but we need to talk not just enough about trust, love, and where it stands in our hearts. Let's break that chain. Let's talk about it, let's not hide. The truth is what makes us thrive. From politics to private fears, we need to hear each other's ears.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone has had a good week since we've been gone. I am so glad to be back with you all. We've had a lot going on, and I am not going to talk about it. And you know what I'm talking about, Trumpisms. So we're going to leave it out there because there's a time and a place. And tonight is not the night. Tonight we're going to talk about female self-inflicted wounds, especially after Cupid left. I have a very special person with me. I just love having her with me, Sharon Matthews Fortune. She is a licensed professional counselor and an author whom we had here last month talking about her book. Hope you guys had a chance to review that and get it and whatnot, because you do need that in your arsenal. But tonight we're going to dive in, and I want to share something with you. Tonight I'm going to be a representation of all the females out there. So it'll be I, she, her, me. But not saying that these scenarios happen to me. So I just want to put that out there, because I don't want y'all saying, "Oh, Angie did that's just Angie ain't did nothing." So let's just get this straight. But the first scenario, I was seeing this man, totally in love with this man. We've been going strong for a long time. We've been getting along. Everything is smooth and whatnot. We've been talking about marriage here and there. So we've even gone to the store and looked at rings, y'all. I done met his mama and them. He done met my mama and them. However, Valentine's Day comes, and I've gotten all in my head that this is it. I am going to get a ring this time, because Christmas came and gone. I got a lot of boxes under the tree, but none of them was a ring box. But Valentine's Day is going to be it. I'm getting a ring. We're getting engaged, the whole 9 yards. Valentine's Day shows up. And what happens? No ring. No proposal. And I fall to pieces. I get upset. I lash out. I blame him.
That is so much to say about what you just said. That's very common. That is extremely a common scenario, a whole lot. If I would peel each part of that layer, this would have to be
enough for the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. This had to be 6 parts, because there's so much to cover in what you said. But I mean, at the root of it all is the narrative. You created a narrative
in
your head based on expectations, assumptions, and you then believed what you wanted to believe, and you created an image of him and you and the relationship, and you rode with that. I didn't hear you one time say you checked in with him to see if he was ready for marriage, if he was ready for engagement, or if you all have been talking about taking this relationship to the next level. Just because you're looking at rings don't mean a thing.
Because I just took him into the ring.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. I mean,
I'm dropping hints.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, Angela, it used to be back in the day that if he took you to meet his mama,
Mm-hmm.
that meant next level stuff. That don't mean that
Right.
no more. People taking women to meet their mama on the second date now. So
Right.
that doesn't mean anything. So you just kind of kept gathering information and making it mean what you wanted it to mean. But I bet you didn't have a conversation with him. And if you did have a conversation with him and he gave you bits and pieces of information that you wanted to hear, you took it and you stretched it into what you wanted it to be.
Because I needed it to fit that script, that screenplay.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So then you use this romantic holiday, we're going to call it, but it's really a marketing holiday. It ain't even a holiday, but it's a marketing holiday. So you use the marketing holiday thinking, he's going to give me this ring on Valentine's Day. I know I'm going to get a ring on Valentine's Day. Right. And then you don't get it and you're upset with him. And you should be upset with yourself. You definitely should be upset with yourself. I want to go all the way back to the relationship. Did you and he talk about what level of a relationship you had? Did y'all talk about that? Did you ever have a conversation? We're exclusive. We've moved from courting to dating, from dating to exclusivity, from exclusivity. Now we're ready for the next step. I want you to be my wife. Did y'all have that conversation? Probably not.
Probably not.
So a lot of expectations and assumptions built a narrative that broke your heart. Yeah. But you got the truth. Now you got to determine what you're going to do with the truth.
Right.
You didn't get the ring.
So now, what next? What should she do?
She should look at now. She has to look at the
because she broken now. She just all to pieces. Her world is just torn down.
Well, is she broken because she didn't get the ring, or is she broken because she didn't get the man to propose to her? Which one? Did she just want the ring, or did she want the man?
She wanted all of it.
Okay.
She wanted the whole happily ever after ending that she had created for herself.
Okay. So we got to go now. This is what I always do with my clients. Let's go into a timeline of this relationship. And let's look at every aspect of the growth that you saw in this relationship. And then we got to separate the facts from the emotional dialogue and the narrative that you create. Okay? Because they're different.
Right.
They're different. So let's go back to when you first met him. How did y'all meet? What was the foundation of the relationship when you met him? And let's go in however long they've been together. If it's a year, I say, okay, let's go in maybe.
Well, she's been doing this for years.
With him? They've been together for years. They've been together for multiple years, and she's waiting for this ring. Okay. What reasons have you given yourself for not getting a ring all of this time? What reasons has he given you, and what reasons have you given yourself that you haven't gotten this ring? Let's look at that.
Right.
Okay.
Y'all better be taking notes out there now, because this is important information. We're in the second month. Do you want to go 10 more months and come right on? Well, 12 more months and come right on back around to this fake holiday and go through this again? We want to try to stop the cycle. Okay? So take notes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we got to do a serious assessment, and it requires you to be honest with yourself. And when we're doing this timeline, you got to look at every time you lied to yourself, every time you took an assumption or an expectation and made it the truth. And so if we're doing that, you're going to see a pattern. Right? You'll see your pattern. You'll see his pattern. You'll see some truth. You'll see the level of commitment. You may have embellished the level of commitment.
Right.
You'll see the level of readiness for this serious relationship. You got to go back and say, did I ask him the did I have the tough conversations with him? Did we have those tough conversations about what we're doing? Or did I just keep my expectations and my hopes and my dreams to myself and keep building my narrative? This man may not even known.
That's what she wanted.
Right, exactly.
Because we go into relationships, and a lot of that is kind of how we are raised.
Yeah.
We go into relationships instantly performing as a wife.
Yeah, exactly.
So then our expectations are that that's what's going to happen. But they aren't thinking that way.
Exactly. And we start, I say women start with the end in mind. You meet somebody and you already go to the end, the marriage.
Right.
We're going to be married
everything.
or whatever.
We done seen the wedding. We done seen the babies. We got the house picked out. We got it all.
But a lot of women, Angela, you'd be surprised at how many women, when we do this exercise, they go back and they realize that the image that they created of him is not who he is. And so we got to really look at that whole image. You created an image of him, and then you put yourself inside that equation in that box too.
Yeah.
And then you attach some expectations to it. But let's look at who he is. Does he really fit that image that you created of him? Is that really who he is? And a lot of times we find out that's not who he is.
Right.
That's not who he is at all. So you got to be honest with yourself.
This is true.
Yeah. So she's waiting for the ring, and it's the 23rd of February, and she didn't get the ring, and she's upset, and he hasn't said anything about the ring or anything, which lets you know probably he had no clue that she was at this point, that she was expecting a ring.
He was doing something with roses and dinner.
And is that what he does every year? Like, is he just kind of rinsing and recycling? Is that what he's doing? And you've been accepting it every year? Every year. What have you been accepting?
Why should he think this year should be any different?
Exactly. Yeah. The conversations, you can clear up so much with a conversation. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there are not some men out there who would lie to you and make you think that it's more than what it is because they like your company, and they want to keep the relationship. But with most men, if you've been with them for that amount of time and you have a conversation with him about what you're expecting, like ready to go to the next level, they'll give you enough information to let you know whether or not they're ready for that or not. It's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you to accept the information, process it correctly, and then make your decisions from that information, not your narrative.
Right. Yeah. The narrative needs to go in the trash can.
Yeah. But, we operate with that narrative, and that narrative is comes to us, unconsciously. It just unconsciously starts to unfold, and it's based on your needs. It's not based on reality most of the time. It's based on what you need, what you're telling yourself you need, or unmet needs.
Right.
So, yeah.
And what we see in social media.
Yeah.
That makes us feel good.
Exactly.
That makes us feel good.
Y'all get off social media. Social media is ruining so many people. I mean, social media is like TV. Really. It's a show.
Right.
People show you what they want you to see. Just because you see the beautiful roses, him picking her up in the fine car, they going to the expensive dinner. Doesn't mean that's a quality relationship.
Right.
It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that they have that commitment that you're looking for. It doesn't mean that there's love.
Right.
It doesn't mean any of those things.
It doesn't mean that she's the only one.
Doesn't mean she's the only one. Exactly. Yes. And half the time it is a side chick that you see.
Which brings me to her. The side chick.
Yes,
the side chick was fine with her position. This is what she wanted. They had the conversation. She was fine with it. Everything was going smooth. He was giving her the amount of time that she wanted, the amount of time that he could. He was giving her money, paying her bills, buying her things. She was fine with it. Not a problem at all. You do that, you go on back. I don't have the responsibilities and the requirements that come with being a wife. I ain't got to take care of you, take care of your clothes, your dinner, and all that.
Okay.
I got the glamorous side over here.
Right.
So she was fine with that until Valentine's Day and the days after it. She thought at least the day after would be her day. She would see him. She would hear from him. At least on Valentine's Day, she thought she would at least get a delivery of some kind.
Okay.
She has not heard from Brother Man as of yet.
And she's upset.
She's upset.
With whom? Him or herself?
She says she's upset with him.
With him, but okay. She got to get real.
But I believe she's upset with herself and not willing to admit it yet.
Well, let's talk about the role that she accepted. She accepted the role of side chick. It is my belief that most side chicks really want to be the main chick. And they may start off, with the fun, the no strings attached, but she starts to get attached to him. And the more he does, the more important she thinks she is.
Right.
So she wants him now to start to reflect back to her what she thinks is building. He never said she was going to be anything other than a side chick.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So she's expecting.
They had an agreement.
Yeah. She's expecting elevation. She's expecting herself, with the length of time and the amount of sex and, the activities and all of these things. She's expecting to elevate herself up. And, she's expecting her priority level in his life to change. But she's a utility,
Right.
And if you think about a utility, you're not a priority, you're a utility. You are used
when you're needed.
When needed and turned off when not.
Exactly.
And if she took that role, she has to accept that that's what you're going to get from this. Yeah. He never said he was going to elevate you up. He never said he was going to leave his, what some do. Some men do say, I'm going to leave her.
Yeah.
Or we having problems,
complicated.
It's complicated. Right, exactly.
The new category, complicated.
And then they give you this laundry list of reasons why they can't leave, And so what has she been hanging on to? What has she been hanging on to?
She's been having a good time.
She's been having a good time until she realizes.
Up until February the 15th.
When that title and that label slaps her in the face, side chick, and she wants to be more than that. Yeah. She wants to be more.
Because she thought at least she would, even if she didn't get any time, she feels like, well, it don't take nothing for you to get on your phone and order up some stuff and have it delivered here.
Right.
So you couldn't even do that.
So
But you've been doing that kind of stuff up until this point.
Right.
So why exclude me on this occasion?
Well, what I don't think she should do is create another narrative, because she could take all of that and create another narrative. And she may not be right. So don't go in and create another narrative. What I say is have a conversation with him. First of all, have a conversation with yourself. Get
really ask yourself, is this really what I want for myself?
But go even deeper than that. I would say go to your value system. Okay. And ask yourself, what are my core values? And what are my core needs in a relationship? And has this relationship been fulfilling those core values and those core needs? And if it hasn't, then she got to make a decision,
right?
Because she's abandoning herself if this relationship has not been. He didn't abandon her; she abandoned herself. So she got to have that conversation with herself first, and then she needs to let him know how that made her feel. Not, I'm mad because you didn't send da 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 da.
Right.
But I felt
it's really not about the stuff.
Exactly. It's about how she believes he feels about her. Right?
Right.
Okay. So then she got to go and have that deep conversation with him. This made me feel devalued. I felt it was inconsiderate. I felt that I was just nothing to you. She needs to tell him how she feels, how this made her feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then she needs to ask him exactly where is this going? Because this is what I want. And then ask him what he wants.
Right.
And if they're not in alignment, then she got some decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds like she moved the needle,
Right.
not
Right.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So that's what she would have to do.
Yeah.
But Valentine's Day and a lot of holidays, Christmas, birthdays, all of that just gives you an opportunity to look at the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it does.
And evaluate yourself.
Evaluation.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And it gives you an outlet.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You can get off the train.
Right.
Those are your stops. You can get off the train.
Uh-huh. And it's so hard. I see so many women get to that place where these scenarios that you're talking about, they have those experiences, and then they will, get upset, angry, sad, mad, or whatever. And then it's like the emotion subsides and they get right back into that same posture that they said they didn't like.
Yeah.
And it repeats all over again. And a lot of times too.
Why is that though?
I think women, the longer you stay in a relationship that is not meeting your needs and is not serving you, the more you think it's impossible for those needs to be met.
Mm-hmm.
You will convince yourself that I'm asking for too much, or that's unreasonable, or nobody has that in their relationship. I'm being high maintenance or whatever. If that's what you need, that's what you need.
Right.
You can't make yourself not need what you need. And if you're not getting it from this person, then you got to have the strength to move on.
Right.
But a lot of women don't have it. They will dumb down, and they will compromise and settle
just to keep from being alone.
Yes. Yep. So,
and that's a major issue.
Yeah. And the thing that they don't realize is you can be in a relationship and feel alone. You can feel more whole and complete, honoring your own values and your own standards. But being with somebody who's not doing that, you're going to feel lonely.
Right.
Yeah.
I can testify to
Definitely. Yeah. So you got to be true to yourself. You got to be true to get to know yourself. You would be surprised at how many women cannot rattle off their core values, their non-negotiables, their needs, their desires, and their standards, and then set a boundary. It's hard work because you've been on autopilot. You've been playing the game. You've been going along. You've been going with the flow.
Right.
So it's hard.
And remaining silent.
Don't want to push them away. Don't want to ask for too much. Don't want to expect too much. And you push, and you think you're going to push them away, but you're pushing yourself into a corner.
Right.
And then if you're not speaking on it, he's going to look at you like, well, where's all this coming from? You've been
all
okay with.
All of a sudden, you got issues.
Right. Yeah. So, side chick. Have a conversation with yourself first. Definitely. Yeah.
So, women, and I wanted to say Black women, but all women have these issues that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not just Black women.
Yeah.
What can they do for their mental health? Because it is a mental thing.
It is.
It is a mental thing. I know journaling is good.
Yeah.
Getting a counselor.
Both of those are good. And the mental and the emotional. And I feel they go hand in hand. Because the mental is the thought processes, and then the emotional comes from how you feel about the thoughts that you're having. A lot of women cannot do it by themselves. They can't do that work by themselves because they've been telling themselves this narrative for such a long time that they're stuck in the narrative. They're really, really stuck in the narrative. So it probably would require, and you got support groups.
Because they can't go to, some of them can't go to mama.
No.
I remember a lot of my friends, I ain't gonna say my family, but a lot of my friends had mamas and they were side chicks.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And their thing was, well, as long as he paying the bills, you know. And that goes along with women that were married.
Yeah.
And their men were cheating and had other families.
Uh-huh.
As long that core thing was, as long as he's paying the bills.
Yep. That's a big one. So much of the stuff that we learned and were conditioned to believe from our elder women, you know, in our lives growing up, is where we get these beliefs and we get stuck in these cycles.
And we just kind of build upon it and kind of tweaked it a little bit. But that core piece is still there.
Exactly. And ours may not look as bad as theirs looked, you know, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you're talking about, you know, what can they do? That's the reason, and this is not a shameless plug, but that's the reason why I wrote my journal and workbook. And it's a journal and a workbook because you need guidance. And so the workbook aspect of it is I pose questions for you to ask yourself. Stop asking everybody else for their opinion, their advice, because you can get 1,000 different opinions, you know, and half the time women are telling you what they think. They haven't walked in your shoes. Exactly. They have not been in your shoes. They don't know what they would do. So I pose the questions. I do the work for you. I give you the questions, you know, in my book, I have the characters. So the blind, the manipulator, the helpless, the finger pointer, the dreamer, the savior, the settler, and the manipulator. You can find yourself in one of those.
A few of those.
Or a few, right, exactly. So
I was tired, girl. I was working so hard. I was so tired.
So here I am. I'm there. I'm there. Okay, I'm here. And so the questions that I developed were based on which one of these alter egos you're using to cope. So it's a series of questions. You answer those questions. And then at the end, I said, now you rewrite the narrative to reflect the truth now. And so something like that, I think, you know, if it's not my workbook, find something like that, you know, that's going to be a guided exercise until you get to the place where you know how to do it for yourself, you know, where you can be honest with yourself.
Right.
Because it's all about getting honest with yourself. That's the whole thing. You have to get to a place where you can be honest with yourself. And you've been trying to hide the truth for such a long time. You don't realize the truth is the thing that's going to make you heal. You know, you're broken in this relationship. So you need to get to that truth. And you got to find a way to get there. Some women use the Bible, you know, get into a place where you have a spiritual awakening, you know, that can help as well. Sister support groups. Lord knows Facebook and Instagram and all of them got a ton of different platforms and groups that you can join for like situations.
Right.
So that fellowship aspect is key as well. Yeah, because you can suffer in silence.
This is true. And I know firsthand the best thing that I did when I was going through, well, when I was making the decision to get a divorce and trying to sort through, because my ex had a stroke. So I was piecing through guilt, you know, because he wasn't whole. So what the people gonna say if I do this?
Right.
So I got that aspect of it on top of the problems we had pre-stroke. Those problems didn't go away because he had a stroke.
Right.
It just compounded that.
Right.
So I got a mirror and I looked in that mirror several times and had to ask myself questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I usually, if I'm talking to a girlfriend and they're going through something, I always tell them, get in front of the mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in front of the mirror talk to yourself. Get with yourself.
Yeah, that reminds me of Diary of a Mad Black Woman with Charles and what was her name? When he ended up in the wheelchair.
Girl, I almost became her.
But she
Uh,
that
it
reminds
can
me of
turn you
that.
into
Yeah,
situations like that. It's a thin line.
it is.
It's a thin line. It really
Mhm.
is. Shoot, some days it still is.
Yeah, definitely.
But prayer.
Yeah, and and you have to. It's so much work to get to a place where we can uncover our what we want, because so much is put on us.
Yeah.
We adapt to so many different expectations. This is the norm and the standard for our family, or women of whatever, Christian women, or these standards. That you got to get to that place where you say, but what do I need?
Exactly.
What do I need? And not be ashamed of
Mhm.
what you need. And if he ain't it,
Mhm. It just is
give
what it
yourself
is.
the permission. Yeah. And leaving is not always the answer. Staying is not always the answer. You got to figure out what is right for you.
Right.
I may look at you and say, oh, I need to follow Angela and do what Angela did, and that may not be the right thing for me to do,
Right.
But if you can get honest with yourself and go deep enough and do those mirror exercises, get into your psyche and ask yourself those questions, you can get to your truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to make that decision.
It's a process. People don't realize, all of the work that goes into making the decision to divorce, because the relationship is typically over a long time before the divorce happens. And I mean a long time before the divorce happens.
Right.
But you're in survival mode for a while, and you kind of ping-ponging. I can stay longer. No, I can't take it. I can stay. You kind of back
And I was
and
still
forth.
caregiving, so you add that piece on to it.
Yeah, and you were doing what was expected of you. Yeah. As a good wife, that's that label. Good
Girl,
wife.
that's that heaviest label, the heaviest stone in the crown to carry. It is so heavy. If you're not careful, it can take you down.
It will. It will take you down, and that's what happens. You lose yourself. So, what do you profit if you gain the whole world and lose yourself? What in the world?
Girl.
Yeah.
And so many women out here are in that same situation.
Yeah. Looking for validation in the wrong way. I always say, if you can't validate yourself, you will never feel validated by anybody else.
Right.
You're looking for Valentine's Day to validate you, or Christmas, or this person, or.
But what about the other 364 days?
Exactly.
Then
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And you got to validate yourself.
Always ask, okay, well, what about when you get sick?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have one who you can trust to be there for you when you're sick, or when your mother's sick, or when you really need them?
I'll share this example. I lost a baby, and he was Macabre was 8 months when he passed away, and I had an ex-husband that I was still close to and still very much loved, but we were apart. He was with someone else and whatnot, but he was still trying to, you know how they do.
Yeah.
and then I had someone that I was dating on and off and whatnot. And I always remember when I was at the funeral, at my son's funeral, and I was sitting there, and I had my family around me, but I was constantly looking at that door, waiting for one of them to walk through it, and neither one did.
And what did you tell yourself?
That I was alone, and that I was not worth it for them to show up.
You made it about you instead of them. And we do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gave them a pass because they could come with an excuse. And even though you're hurt, you accept that excuse. Yeah. And then, they wiggle their way back in with, good deeds.
Mm-hmm.
But, that stain stays there where
Right.
you can't depend on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, this journey back towards self is a long walk.
It is.
It's a very long
but when
walk.
you get there,
You get there,
when you get there, ladies.
Yes.
When you get there.
It's a beautiful place to be. It's definitely a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
Do the work to get there by any means necessary.
It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It may not feel like it right now, but it's worth it. Not every day is going to be sunshine and roses. Right. Nobody ever promised that. But when you know your worth, you don't settle for anything less.
Right.
And I will tell you, I am single and I have been divorced. It was a year, February 5th. But I feel like I was single long before then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm at peace. And I guard it. I guard it like it was a porcelain egg.
Yeah.
I have met guys, but they can't get but so close to me.
Right.
Because I can feel energy now. Whereas I never could. I was always dating the wrong guy.
That's the connection with yourself, though. When you're disconnected from yourself, you're vibrating on a lower frequency. So you can't pick up on that negative player energy.
No.
You don't feel it.
all that shine and whatnot.
And you're busy with this narrative that you're creating. So
this is true. This is true.
But when you do that work, you get to that place where you are no longer vibrating on that lower frequency. And you then know exactly what you're worth and what you want.
And you don't want, what you're going to tolerate, what you're not going to tolerate.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing.
It is. But I always say too, I do not regret any of my relationships, good, bad, or indifferent. Because every relationship we have with somebody else is teaching us about ourselves. It's bringing out aspects of ourselves that we need to work on.
Right.
And we go into it wrong because we think if this person can show up like that, then that means I'm worth this. Or if they feel this about me, then I'm special. And so we're outsourcing it the whole time. But those relationships just come to help us to evolve into the women that we're supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. So we
just choose different roads to get there. We could have taken a highway, but we decided we wanted the country road route.
Exactly. And I always say, it's not my saying, but Maya Angelou, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. You do, but we get mad at them for showing us who they are. We get upset.
And then we want to change
and then
them.
we try to change them. We get busy trying to change them. If you accept it right out the gate when they show you, you don't cover it up, you don't shine it up, you don't polish it in any kind of way. You just accept it. It's so much easier.
It is. And you would have less heartache.
But I come from the family of grace. You have to give them grace. You have to give them grace. You have to allow them to make mistakes and to grow.
Everybody makes some.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody gets a second chance. But we don't even stop at the second chance. And we're going to give them a third chance. We're going to give them a fourth chance because they're going to get it right.
Yep. You just got to wait. Nobody ever said, how long or how much grace and how long am I supposed to wait for them to get it right? And you get stuck in the cycle. Then you building a bear.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we try to take religion and put that on that. How many times did God forgive?
Yeah.
Then we put that piece on there to justify why we keep giving this person.
And he who has no sin cast the first stone. We all fall short. We all make mistakes. Yeah. But, you got to know who you are. I mean, certain people can accept certain things and it doesn't break them. But if being in that relationship is breaking you, then you know that's not for you. You got to choose yourself.
Yeah. And also, I think we have to learn how to be non-apologetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to be honest about what you accept. Because we are co-creators in everything that we get into. I can remember. Look, confession good for the soul. I can remember when I decided that I was going to allow myself to, and I was in college. So I was dating this guy, and he had a girlfriend at another school, and I had a boyfriend at another school, and my boyfriend and I had broken up, and he and I were friends, and so I decided, okay, I'm gonna play with him, So I put myself in side chick mode. But I realized very early that I'm not side chick material. I had too many demands. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
This ain't gonna work.
She coming to our this my campus. She coming to our campus. Oh no, that's not gonna. He's like, well, I had a girlfriend. Yeah, but
you go to her. She don't come here.
Exactly. This is my territory. Exactly. I realized really
he
easy.
didn't understand the rules.
Yeah, and I just wasn't side chick material, so that was it. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
How long did that last?
About a semester in college.
Okay.
Yeah, about
that's
a
long
semester.
enough to learn.
That's
too.
a lifetime when you're young.
Yeah,
that's a lifetime when you're young. But yeah, I knew early. I was like, I ain't built for this. I am one man, one woman. And I got to be primary. Definitely. So yeah, I learned early, but a lot of women would put themselves in that situation, although they don't feel like they're side chick material. They accept it. They settle. Because they feel like eventually I'm going to win.
Right.
And you don't.
No. I tell you, this is going to really make you laugh. I was married for a long time, and we got divorced. And I always thought we would get back together. So even though I would date guys, I would never let it get serious.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was getting back with him. However, he got married to someone else. But he wanted me to be the side chick.
Ooh.
And I'm like, no, that's a demotion.
That's a demotion, definitely.
No, I can't. I can't do that. No, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
No, sir.
That ain't gonna work. I'm like,
And I did a post about if you and your partner have to keep on taking breaks, you may need to reevaluate the relationship, because what's wrong that you have to keep on taking breaks, And I had a relationship like that. We took break after break after break, get back there. And I was like well, I always expected to get back together
was good.
It was fun. Exactly.
That's what it was. Y'all enjoyed to get back together.
Exactly. And it was always, that crack in the door was left. There was never that closure, so it was always recurring. And that went on for years until I realized, I did that mirror work. And I said, we really don't have anything in common. That's why we keep on breaking, because we don't have a whole lot in common. And that compatibility,
that's important.
That is very important. And so I'm like, well, we're not compatible. So let me stop this, because this can't go anywhere. I don't want to be his wife, because what's that going to be like?
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
How you going to take a break?
Exactly. Exactly.
Why would you want to?
Right. Yeah.
Gosh.
You got to be true to yourself. But, that evolution, getting to a place, like we said, walking up to and accepting who you are, what you want, what you need, and setting your standards and your boundaries from that place, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. You may be single for a little while.
Right.
But when you invite somebody in your life, that's going to be a better person than you've ever had before. I'm not saying he's going to come in and he's going to do the right thing and y'all going to live happily ever after, because he may not have done his work.
Exactly.
But if he has,
but at least you will be whole.
Yeah.
That was my thing. on the journey that I'm on now,
Mhm.
it's all about me being whole.
You being whole. Yeah. Yep.
Just having come out of
That's
what
the
I've
goal.
come out of, and then the residuals from past relationships that I've just been, as Erica Badu said, I've been carrying my
The bag lady.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been a bag lady. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I got to unpack and get rid of this stuff, because all
Yeah.
I've been doing is just carrying it into.
So each one of those scenarios that you brought up,
Mm-hmm.
the advice would be unpack that bag,
Mm-hmm.
because each one of them has baggage
Right.
that has allowed her to be in that position. So
Mhm.
unpack that bag. You can evaluate the relationship that you now have co-created with him, but unpack your bag. What did you
Mhm.
bring in? What
Right.
did you bring with you? And look at that stuff too, and see what narratives you created there, because all of that may not be true.
Right.
So you
Right.
got to unpack that bag.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, no one can do anything to us that we don't allow.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we really have to accept ownership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Self-inflicted wounds.
So true. So true. And then the healing.
And healing takes a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to heal and you think you got it.
Yeah, because those triggers.
Yep.
Those triggers.
Yeah. You think you're over it. You think you're big, you're above something. You think I'll never do that again. And then you do.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I always tell my clients when that happens is, they think they failed. No, you haven't failed. You have the opportunity to get a deeper level of understanding of yourself. You have the opportunity to grow more.
Right.
You haven't failed. There's never a failure unless you continue to repeat the same cycles over and over again. You're failing yourself. Yeah.
I remembered watching the movie Acrimony.
Oh.
And it triggered me so bad. I got so angry. And
At who? The female or the male?
The male.
Got mad at the male. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I got mad at the male. And it was crazy because I took it out on my husband at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he hadn't done nothing. Well, to my knowledge.
Right, okay.
And later down the road, I realized he deserved
it.
What he got. But at the time, it stirred up emotions from somebody from past hurt.
Mm. And what you may not have realized is it may have stirred up emotion from that relationship that you were in too, but you had suppressed stuff. So, sometimes when a mirror gets held up to us, we don't really like the reflection that we see. Yeah. So sometimes it's really
was uncomfortable.
I can tell you what movie gave me that Girls Trip. Do you remember Girls Trip? And so I could see myself in the character Ryan.
Ryan had the husband.
They looked perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
to
they
the
had,
outside.
To the outside, they looked very perfect. And they had a lot going for them, and there were a lot of reasons to stay together, but there were a lot of reasons to not stay together too. And that thing just made me say, you know what? You got to make some decisions. You really, it was like, I can see myself right there, really settling because it looks good and it does have some good qualities. But what is it doing to my relationship with myself? So, yeah, sometimes you see it and it's like, oh, I've suppressed so much stuff.
Yeah.
Now this is bringing it up to the surface.
And then, there's a lot of women, a lot of career women that have so much at stake that they feel like, well, it would be better for me to just deal with it and stay.
Yeah.
Than to walk away and start over,
Yes. That's that settler I write about.
And I was like,
Yeah. I always liken that to Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not that woman.
Mm.
Cause what you not gonna do is play in my face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not the play in the face
Yeah.
woman. Now, what I don't know, I can't judge.
Right.
But to
Exactly.
just know you doing it,
Uh-huh. And just kind
know
of
you
put that
getting ready to walk
blinder
out
over
the door
here.
and going over there with her.
Yeah.
Oh no, we ain't
Yeah.
about to do
That's a
that.
special kind of woman. That's back in the
Yeah.
day.
I
you
had
know.
a situation like that.
Uh-huh.
And that ended up with me chasing them down Dab's House Road, going 90 miles an hour. So that's not, I'm not built for that.
I think I heard too much when I was young because I would hear the stories about the women in the neighborhood going to get their husbands from the other woman's house.
Yep.
You know, and one woman, I remember her husband had gotten drunk and he was at the other woman's house and he had to go to work. And so she knew that he was there and he needed to sober up so he could go to work.
Yeah.
She went and got him. You know, we on our little bicycles going in there with her.
Y'all the bicycles?
And I'm like, well, why is he over at her house? Well, what's going on? You know, it was just, that was common.
As my granny would say, signifying. Signifying.
Right. It was just so common just to see that level of settling.
Women get to fight?
No, they never did. See, that back in the day, them codes was different. You know, the code was different back in the day. I mean, had Shirley and Betty, you know, hey Shirley, this is Betty. I'm just calling you, tell you I'm with your man. But they didn't fight, you know. But now
they just had a conversation and everybody established their roles and
I don't know if the men were doing anything differently back then, you know, but side chicks knew their place, you know. And that sounds horrible for me to say that side chicks knew their place, but they didn't have that sense of entitlement that the side chicks have now. And
they weren't trying to wreck no families.
They weren't trying to break the family up. They knew what they signed up for. Yeah. And I ain't saying that's right. I'm just saying it was different.
Right.
You know, it was very different. But I do say be accountable for what you sign up for. Be accountable. And if you want the rules of engagement to change, then you need to have a conversation with him. Don't go trying to change it yourself.
Right.
You have a conversation to see if that's what he wants, because this is how y'all started. So, yeah.
And have enough respect for yourself not to go after the woman.
Yeah.
Why would you ever go after the woman?
I will never understand that. Never.
You don't go after the wife. You don't have nothing to do with that wife.
But you gotta ask
yourself. An agreement with that man.
Yeah. But what kind of narrative has she created that tells her in her head that tells her to go after the other woman? That's coming from her narrative. You know what she has created, and it may be a little some of what he's told her. You know, but expectations are in there. So
because the wife is blocking what she's trying to get.
Or he taking too long to leave. You know, he told her when they met.
She gonna blow it up.
Yep. Blow it up so the wife will leave. And where I come from, the women say, you ain't gonna let another woman break up your home. She ain't going nowhere.
This is true. This is true. What they say, till death do us part.
Till death do us part. And just make sure the death ain't your spiritual death.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Ladies, we have so much work to do.
And let's be diligent to do that work. 2026 is just starting. Let's do that work. Let's do it.
Yeah. Because if y'all saw my post, Cupid, he packed his bags. He packed his bags, so he is gone.
Cupid's gone.
So it's safe to say the ring ain't coming.
It's not.
He ain't showing up either, side chicks. He ain't showing up with the roses and stuff. He might show up with some excuses.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that. Some excuses. So now you got to ask yourself, are you going to accept it? Or are you better? Are you better than that? Do you want more than that? Do you deserve more than that?
I agree.
And don't believe that ain't no good men out here. It ain't enough men for every woman out here. Don't y'all
We just got to get
don't believe that, because
Gotta
not
get-
every woman. I mean, it's lesbians out here. So if it's lesbians out here, then
There are
that
more
means there's more
men.
men
Yeah.
for those of us that's not lesbians.
Uh-huh.
So y'all got to pay attention now.
But I think the piece they got to put in the equation is the willingness to be single for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Until.
Love thyself and do the work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then the man is the reward if you want him.
I'm the reward because I'm whole going in. Now he's going to compliment me, and now we
not
can
complete,
grow.
Not complete you,
right? Exactly.
Because a lot of times I used to always hear, "Oh, I want a man to complete me. That's all. I just need a man to complete." How a man gonna complete you?
He cannot. He cannot. He can compliment you.
That don't even work biblical.
Right.
We the real.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Not complete. No.
Yes.
But we got this. 2026 is our year. Yep. We have this. Mm-hmm. We can do it.
We got it.
We can do it. We outside. We can do what we want to do. We can have love in our life. And we can start by loving ourselves.
Yes.
Because if we love ourselves, we attract love. You attract what you have.
Yes.
So if you get mess, then that means
you messy.
That's all I'm gonna say on that.
And all mess don't look the same.
No, that's the truth. Some of it is fine. Them the ones you really gotta leave alone.
Exactly.
Them fine ones looking like Christopher Williams, smelling all good. They ain't no. Y'all ain't gotta experience it. Just take it from me. Leave it alone.
Cut.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, y'all got this. Y'all gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And we're going to have to stop putting so much on these holidays because it ain't worth it.
Exactly.
It is not worth it. We can put something on Valentine's Day because we developed that.
That's
so
right.
we can put something on that. But Valentine's Day, not so much.
Yeah.
It wasn't for us anyway. It wasn't for us. It was for the other persuasion, not for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep on taking stuff that's theirs and we want to make it ours and it don't benefit us.
Exactly.
No. The candy make us fat.
The flowers die.
Money wasted. So
exactly.
No. Mm-hmm. The restaurants upcharge the food that they would normally feed us anyway. So,
exactly. Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense. But yeah. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. But it's going to be a good year, I believe, for everybody. And men, I'm sorry if you felt like we were bashing y'all, but we really weren't. We weren't bashing y'all.
I don't think it was. I think it was,
We're just trying to get
it was us being accountable.
Yeah.
They were secondary. Yeah, it was us being accountable.
Trying to get to the bottom of things. Bottom,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are tools out there for anybody who's ready to do your work. Find the right one for you.
It's not easy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But it's worth it.
Yep. I told you I'm a year in. I'm still working.
Yeah.
But I got sense enough to know that I got to continue to work. And that's the thing. That is the thing. But it can be done. It can be done.
Well, this was a good one.
I think so too. How we doing with time? We good with time?
I think we're done.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and say good night to everybody. I thank y'all for tuning in. I hope what we have said has helped you all. I thank Sharon for coming back with us again.
Thanks for having me again.
I want to just keep you here. Tell them how they can reach you.
So I can be reached on social media. Sharon Matthews Fortune LPCCSAC on Facebook and SMF Counseling on Instagram.
All right. And I'm Angela Canty Ingram again, and you can reach me on Facebook, Angela Canty Ingram, or on the I've Got Something to Say podcast Facebook page as well. Again, I thank you guys for coming. I send condolences to the two people, their families who passed away in Shaka Bottom this weekend. I didn't want to leave without saying that.
Yes.
And my prayers to them and my prayers to the community. Prayers to Richmond that we can just get it together.
Amen.
But it's got to turn around. It's got to turn around. Shout out to G Money, Big Time Entertainment, for having us here. And we will see you all next Monday at 7 p.m. We want to do this again. Stay woke, love each other, love one another, love yourself. Peace.